Plus, I hopefully will be seeing some of you again, going to be presenting at the North Carolina, let me make sure I get this name right, Community College Child Educators Association meeting, which is a mouthful. So I'm going to be at that and hopefully get a broader audience to speak to about our work and some of the ways we'd like to connect with the community college system. Okay, if there are any questions about next steps, first of all. Yes?
Are there other states or national models that are using it in incentive programs?
I believe Florida may have a broader resource pool that they're drawing from. The Mott Foundation, which is our chief funder for Nccap, North Carolina is one of the first states to become statewide after school network, and now they're up to 39 states across the country, and they bring us together twice a year for sharing of what's going on, and there's always a lot of sessions on professional development system building, and that's the first one that's popping in my mind, but I know there are some others, and that's certainly something I'll be exploring. I know next week, the Finance Project, Jennifer Gager and some of her counterparts are holding a conference call that they actually invited us to be part of to talk about what's going on in North Carolina, and they were very interested in our ideas around incentives through our funders group. And so we will be sure to gather any other feedback from callers to that webinar and see if there's some other exciting work we could model from. Yes? We do work with them. Mm-hmm. We have probably about, we have about 50 different partners spanning state and local agencies and all the different after-school stakeholders from 4-H and Boys and Girls Club, and about 20 of those or so are on our after-school professional development work group. Great. Other questions? Okay. Well, we've got about 45 minutes and wanted to spend some time, again, getting more discussion and hearing from each other. So what I'd like for you to do for the next, let's say 10 minutes or so, is talk about how we can help you in your work. And that meaning Nccap, meaning the After School Professional Development Work Group, meaning some of our national partners, like the Finance Project that's creating some exciting modules at the national level. So what can we do to better equip you to go back into your communities and into your college to advance school-age field? So take about 10 minutes, and then we'll report back and share some of our findings. Okay, let's take about, we've got about 10 minutes, I think, 5 minutes for report outs. So we'll just do like we did last time and go around the tables and have you share a few highlights from your discussion. And I'll start with this table. Carolyn?
Okay. We thought that with the economic downturn and the financial challenges that it would be very nice if the student had financial incentives. Of course, we talked about having incentives for the instructors as well, but really if it's being funded through your Con Ed department, then the funding for your staff or your people would be taken care of because the money's going to be there. What we talked about is these people, if they have to pay you $65 a few times a year or even once a year, and they're paid minimum wage, they don't really have an incentive to come and do these trainings. So we feel like you were talking about with the financial partners, that would be a wonderful thing if there was financial incentives for people to get in and get these trainings. Did you want to add it? Sharon has something else to add.
Now, see the discussion. Okay, nobody wants to say, but we were talking about this. We were talking about how can you support our school-age program in community colleges. We would love to be able to have funds to hire faculty to do these programs because we are doing more with less. So we would love to see some incentives out there for us or some type of grant opportunities, right? Colleagues, to have a person to come in and do this, that would be the greatest support that we could possibly get. And that's our story, and we're sticking to it.
Thank you. Let's move to this table. Who do we have reporting out? Any takers?
We pretty much focused our time on the same issue. We're feeling so overwhelmed with the demands that we have, and we're not crybabies, but it's hard to juggle it all.
We're getting ready to go through SACS, and we're getting ready to go through SACS, and we've been told we cannot teach any overtime or any part-time contract, and we cannot teach in continuing ed if it puts us over what our workload policy is.
Are others facing similar challenges or have solutions or ideas for Bladen?
There was something at our recent staff meeting that the dean was addressing as far as overloads working at Con Ed. There was some type of approval process and that you could not be over a certain amount of time due to work laws. I don't remember the specifics, but I do know that that's an issue that our college is looking at more specifically.
Well, SACS is cutting. From what I understand, we've talked to people who've just gone through SACS, and they have really been giving on overtime. No overtime.
And that maybe we should get our rates on.
And that means we can't work out splitting. Like, more
Rep reps. There can be no more than 4 reps.
oh, God, they'll kill us.
She's got 8 and I have 4. That's a new regulation, there was 4 reps.
I was just gonna say, for us, when we're talking about CEUs at JCC, although we all may end up teaching some CEUs specifically, we're not limiting our CEU offerings to those that we're teaching. We're going to hire people through continuing education from the community to do that. So it may be who have their adult educator endorsement and have expertise in a certain area, and they're going to teach those. So I'm not adding this to my plate. I'm going to try to help coordinate, but I'm not planning I'm not planning to add that to my faculty's plate, because we too have more than enough to do in curriculum without having to add on the continuing ed portion. So for us, that's what we're doing. But I did want to make a comment about the $65 CEU thing, since we're on the CEU topic at the moment. The $65 is actually for up to 24 contact hours. So that's 2.4 CEUs. So when you're thinking about making a CEU at your college, you may want to think about making several that you could bundle together. Like we're getting ready to do one for early childhood. It's not school age specific. This one's early childhood. But we're putting 4 6-hours ones together, and they pay $65 for one of those. But if they're really thinking, they'll pay their $65 and come to all 4 of those and get 2.4 CEUs in 24 hours. So they're going to pay $65 anyway. So best case scenario, give them the max number they can get for $65, which is 2.4. So we're dividing it into 4 6-hour. So just a thought of a way to try to make their money go further and give them the most they can for that amount.
Are you doing it as a self-supporting? I mean, where did you get the rate of $65 for 25 hours?
You can do self-supporting. Our college is going to turn it in for FTE, so if that's a set rate.
Exactly. That's OE, right?
Yes.
So that counts FTE, all right? So that you will get the reimbursement for FTEs that you're generating. So the cost can be cheaper. I mean, the tuition can be cheaper because you're getting support from state for that FTE. But, depending on the school, Central Piedmont, I was told that we don't have any money to support OE for our CCE, venture out. So we're starting as a self-supporting. Okay, that means you have to stretch, or you have to dig into your own pocket, or asking your full-time faculties, volunteers sometime and whatever to develop these things, all right? So that's another stretching part. So what I was told from my higher, administrators, start with the self-supporting and generate some money, okay? We are targeting about 25% of market something, okay? Something, I'm studying this. So that's usually the target at my school, right, Central Piedmont. So once you started doing, accumulating some money, and I'm hoping that we will have, like your vision, will have separate some kind of, comparable to our curriculum area, so that we can hire somebody to coordinate in that part, right? And then if state's going to generate those 20 so that we can use them already developed, we can borrow, I don't know how they're going to let us use it. Okay, and then it's already developed. We'll just hire part-time, teach 5 hour or 10 hour, and pay at lower rate, I believe, than your rate teaching, and that's what I'm figuring out at this point. So I am jealous of you that you are getting the support of OE money in your, and then I'm going to share that with my administrators that they're doing it.
Well, see, that's what occupational extension does. We're already doing this. We're just not doing it for the child care providers. So now we get to do it for them. Well, I have been doing it. I've been doing BSAC free with my child care research and referral. Want to address a couple of things. Your issue about the fact that you guys can't do this. I mean, you can't do it for lots of reasons. I know you guys are already working your maximum load. That's why I don't get it. Hadn't been teaching at Johnston for a while, because as a part-time instructor, that was moved into a full-time person. But I see the light at the end of that tunnel. But what I want to tell you is you have people in your community that are going to be qualified to do this. You've got BSAC trainers, you've got 4-H, you've got child care resource and referral staff, and some of them are going to be eligible to do these things because they have the education to do it, and they have the experience to do it. And they have modules kind of already developed that they have to tweak pretty good, I would think, to get right, but you already have those people. Who else, Barbara? Thinking about the school age specialists, who else do we have? Who else do you already know that can do these things? They're out there. You just have to help them know how to do it this way. And so that's the piece of it. And the FTE versus self-supporting I don't really think it's scrimping. What self-supporting does is you calculate what it costs to do the work. You come up with the fee to do the work. You can charge a little bit more than that. We just do 5% generally. We're not trying to make money to start a program with it either. I'm doing something for a town through our OE right now. They want team building for the town of Benson. We're doing it next week. Charge them $17 a person. The town's going to pay for that, and that's my cost, plus 5%. So you can do it cheaper. It will not earn the FTE and won't bring the money back to your school, but it's a good way to start, and it will be cheaper. We'll all be jealous because they'll be able to come to you and not to us, but you'll be having the lower cost, but it's possible to do that. You just won't get the FTE from it, so it won't generate income for you.
Thank you. Other comments or thoughts on how Nccap and the After School Professional Development Work Group can assist you in your efforts? Okay. Yes, I would love a report out.
Our group was talking about using the SIP website, which Jamie already is on. She hasn't probably been on there in a while, but to create a list of all of the school-age faculty that she can send this information to, and getting these resources on there, Jamie, because I don't think, like, even the competencies, these after-school physical standards, all those things, getting those put on the site and populate the site, because now there's nobody at the system office that can do that. And then I know that we were all talking about Teach, and I think that's where you were headed with Child Care Services Association question, but really talking about Teach scholarships for before and after school staff, and we know they came and presented, but do you remember, do you know an update on that? Can you share that?
The presentation that we had on Teach, I think, raised a few questions regarding the number of hours as far as part-time person, and it basically just paved the way for some further exploration, and perhaps we could partner to try to work to get some funding that would